All right. Listen, man. 13 and 0, Callum Walsh, junior middleweight contender, 24 years old, 13 and 0, 11 KOs, ranked number 6, IBF number 5 with the WBC last I looked. A lot of things going on in the Callum Walsh world. Um, Now you've attended, I'm just gonna kind of jump around a little bit, but you've attended a lot of wrestling events, specifically WWE, Monday Night Raw stuff. And I happen to know a little bit about that because I cover wrestling as well. Um, was was that something that you've like watched or followed in the past, or now that you're being put in these positions to get promoted and cross promoted to a new audience, that maybe you're kind of following a little bit now?
Yeah, no, definitely. I grew up watching WWE. Everybody did probably back then. It was massive. I remember my favorite wrestler was Rey Mysterio. The craziest thing was I was actually sitting next to him at a UFC event. About a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago. So it's crazy. And then being at the WWE event, and I don't know much of the wrestlers now, the new kind of ones, only a couple of the Irish ones, that's about it. But yeah, all the old wrestlers there is cool, and it's not just something that I'm going along to because I have to, if I didn't want to, I wouldn't go, But yeah, it's cool. I love going. It's entertaining, It's a very fun night when you go there. The walkouts, everything is extra, It's crazy.
And do you kind of like take a little bit like pointers here and there about some of the presentation and what maybe you can add to your presentation later?
Uh, Not really, it's very like over the top, you know what I mean? Like it's well because it's for the show, you know what I mean? It's a show more than anything, you know what I mean? But yeah, the entertainment is cool, definitely the way the fans get involved to the to the wrestlers is crazy, you know what I mean? The way everybody knows the storyline, everybody knows this person's song, knows this guy, you know what I mean? I think that's cool. If you had that in boxing or any type of fighting, you'd be doing well. You know what I mean? The way they walk out and everybody knows everything. I think that's where it becomes very entertaining there, where every single person in the arena knows exactly who the person is and what's going on.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, listen, you've been a pro for about 4 years now, maybe a little bit, a couple months over. You have 13 fights, 14th coming up on June 21st at the Shumash Casino in California. What's your personal assessment of your career when you look back at it for the last, couple years?
Yeah, it's been a good career, you know what I mean? I've haven't done much yet, you know what I mean? I've been just winning fights, I've been just doing my job, and yeah, I've had a good career so far. I have the best team in the world, I think, you know what I mean? With Tom Loeffler, Freddie Roach, I have Dana White. You know what I mean? The team that I have is unheard of really in boxing. So yeah, I think I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, and let's talk about Freddie Roach. One of them, I'm gonna pluck some of those guys out. Recently, a couple hours ago, he posted a photo on Instagram of you as a kid, maybe like young teenager, visiting Wild Card. I guess you posted with you and your dad and him, and he said that he never imagined that, you know, years after this photo, he would be training you. So, kind of like a full circle moment. What do you think about that? About how this has kind of been a full circle moment in your relationship evolving with Freddie from the beginning to now?
That's crazy. I remember I went there just to buy a t-shirt and knowing that Freddie was there every day. Went there to buy a shirt, met with Freddie, got the photo. I actually still have the shirt, the first one that I ever bought from Wildcard, and yeah, it's crazy. Now I went there and bought a shirt, and now I get them for free.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. All right, I'm gonna jump into this here. Your IG bio says the boxing fella with UFC. When Dana White signed on to the deal with TKO and Sella and Turkey, one of the first like they had like a boxing like montage and one of the first images video on the video that came up was you. Um, how do you, I'm just curious, like, how do you fit into that whole thing? Or is that something that really hasn't been discussed as of yet?
Yeah, I haven't heard much yet. I'm waiting for a call. You know, what I mean, I'm waiting for them to. They obviously have a lot of stuff to figure out before they start putting on events and stuff like that. You know, so at the moment, I'm just still doing what I've always done, just fighting and just keep winning, keep doing my job, and yeah, these things will come in the future, I presume. You know what I mean? If Dana wants me part of it, yeah, I'll be more than happy to jump in there and fight people over there. So yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on at the moment, but definitely I'd be more than happy to fight on them shows.
Okay. And then, I mentioned before your current rankings. At what point do you see yourself maybe going into fights with some of the bigger names in the division? Like Xander, Tim Tszyu, Josh Kelly, Jesus Ramos. Like, at what point do you see yourself facing those type of guys? Is it this year?
Yeah, anytime I think, I don't pick and choose opponents. I just fight the man they put in front of me. So whenever they're put in front of me, that's when I'll fight them. You know what I mean? I don't look too much at the rankings. I don't look into opponents. I just train every day, and they tell me when and where to fight, and that's it. I show up and get the job done.
Okay, and has there been conversations with Tom Lawfer like, where you might want, like what your projection is or what your vision is with him and what he has planned for you? Have those conversations been had recently?
Not recently, but I understand. I trust the team. I don't really talk too much about what I want and where I want to be. They know I want to be the best in the world, and they want me to be the best in the world. And it's I think it's only a matter of time. So yeah, we'll see. I trust the what they do for me. Obviously, they've done a great job so far, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously the main goal for all of us is to become world champion, and I think that's definitely going to happen in the near future.
All right. Now, your opponent on June 21st at the Shumash Casino is Elias Espadas, 23, 6 and 1, 16 KOs. Um, speaking of Xander, he's fought Demetrius Ballard, Yamaguchi Falco. What do you know about him? And is this the fight that shows everybody that, you're ready to move even further up the ladder of levels?
Yeah, definitely. I think every fight is a step up. Every fight is a good opportunity to show that I'm ready for the next level. And this is a good opponent to show that against. I'm getting him off two full camps. You know what I mean? He just fought recently, so he's coming into this fight with two full camps. He's going to be more than ready for this fight. A lot of these guys he's fought maybe on shorter notice. You know what I mean? So he's had two full camps. So I think I'm going to get the best version of him and be able to show the best version of myself. And yeah, be ready to take it to the next level.
Yeah, and speaking of the next level, there's a Hall of Famer gonna be in your gym, or is already in your gym, Manny Pacquiao. Is there a possibility that you might, get in the ring with him and maybe spar a little bit with him?
We'll see. I haven't heard anything yet. I know he was there yesterday, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I know. Who knows? He's fighting a taller fighter, so maybe. I
Maybe.
know. I would love to. I would love to share the ring with Pacquiao just to say that I've done it. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens over there.
Okay. All right. What do you want for the first thought on fans' mind after your fight on June 21st? What do you think is gonna be the first thing they're gonna say to the next person that's walking out the arena after watching your fight?
People just, the main thing for me is I want people to know that I show up to fight. You know what I mean? I show up to give you what you came to see. I give you your money's worth. You know what I mean? You're never gonna show up to watch me fight and be sitting in the crowd falling asleep. You know what I mean? That's what I don't want for my career. So I just want people to, no matter whether I win, lose, draw, whatever it is, I want people to be entertained. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of fighting. You know, fighting's not going to watch a man win. You know what I mean? Maybe it is for your family and friends. They obviously want to see you win. You know, but for the random person that doesn't know you, you know what I mean? They just want to see a fight. They don't care who wins, who loses. You know, they don't care about the outcome. They just want to see a fight. And I think that's what it's all about. You know, boxing's got so caught up in this 50-0 shit, like the Floyd Mayweather stuff, and it's unrealistic. You know what I mean? Unless you're fighting nobodies, you know what I mean? Or you're that 1% of person that can do that. You know what I mean? It's unheard of, really. And especially if you're fighting tough fights and you're putting on entertaining fights. You know what I mean? You're going to take a loss here and there, but who cares? You know what I mean? As long as you're fighting and you're showing up and you're not absolutely knocked out. You know what I mean? As long as you're if you lose a close fight, I think it shouldn't matter. You know. And yeah, that's what I want people to say. You know, I want people to leave my fights and be like, that was good. You know, I'll go to the next one. Anytime he fights, I'll go and see him fight because he's going to show up and fight, and we're going to be entertained, and it's going to be a good night.
Yeah, and so far you've been doing that, right? Between the Shumash and Commerce and Mass Square Garden, people have come out to see you because of what you just said. You deliver.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and I'm going to continue to deliver. You know what I mean? And I will always be there to fight. You know, no matter how tired I am, no matter how bad the fight is going or how good it's going. You know what I mean? I'll always be there to fight and to entertain.
All right, and last question. As you continue to ascend in your career, um, why should people care about what and watch you? Like what are you bringing to the table that maybe stands out ahead of everybody else? And you kind of answered a little bit, but just kind of why should people care about your career?
Yeah, you know, I've come from a fighting life. You know what I mean? I've been fighting since I was 6 years old. You know what I mean? I had a massive amateur background. I'm trained now by Freddie Roach. You know, like combining my amateur career now to like world class trainer Freddie Roach. You know, it's the perfect combination. You know, and it's paying off. You know, I go in there and I knock people out. You know what I mean? So and I entertain. That's why I want people to show up because I'm entertaining. You know, I think I am, and I try to be, and you'll get your money's worth, you know. And by the end of my career, I want people to say, yeah, he fought anybody and anyone, anytime. You know, he never backed down from a fight. He always fought the best, and I want to test myself. You know, there's no point winning a world title and you fought nobody. You know what I mean? I want to win the world title and know deep down that I won it the hard way.
All right. Well, listen, thank you, Callum, for your time today, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, baby.